Queen quality. How do we evaluate your queen and her quality of laying? How can you tell the quality of your queen? This is something that through study and evaluation of your hive and examining your comb, you will get better and better at. Don't feel threatened by evaluating the queen quality. So how can you tell the quality of your queen? Look how pretty she is. She must be a good queen. Nope, you can't tell by her looks. An awful lot of times you'll see people commenting on the size of a queen, her nice long abdomen, her fat little booty. But a beautiful queen can still be a problem queen. This is not always indicative, her beauty is not indicative of her quality as a laying matriarch of your hive. What you have to evaluate is her patterns. Because even the beautiful, most beautiful queens, biggest, fattest, most wonderful looking queens can have problems. And the patterns will reveal how well bred your queen is. Now, just an aside, a well-bred queen can breed up to, in free mating, in flight, anywhere between 20 and 50 drones. And that's what fills her for her lifetime. If you buy a breeder queen or an inseminated queen, generally, she's got a shorter brood laying span because she does not have as much sperm in her to lay with. In this picture, you see a capped, fully capped frame of bees. And this is a pattern now that you would now evaluate based on the other frames of bees or larvae within the hive. What you see here is a frame of capped, fully capped brood. You will then put this next to other frames that would be pulled and evaluate the pattern as to whether she's still in good form or does she need to be replaced or what other problems there may be. The old way to evaluate a queen's pattern was to pull a frame and look at the capped brood pattern. So the old way to evaluate a queen's pattern was to look at the capped brood, and as the capped brood then became uncapped, you would look at how did she fill it. You would follow the concentric rings of age. That is no longer really it's not really a useful manner. Some people are still using that. That's obvious. But this is an age where people like myself are breeding queens that have hygienics that the bees uncap, and what would normally or previously had been thought of as a shotgun pattern or a bad pattern is actually showing up as a genetically or hygienic pattern. The new way, instead of just following concentric rings of the old capped brood all the way up to egg, now we are asking people to look at your open larva. Find your frame of open larva and don't really worry about the capped brood area. You look at the open larva. You follow the pattern of ages of open larva. How we've already discussed. If you have eggs in the middle of your frame and you work outward, you will probably find an age progression out to the oldest just prior to being capped. So the new way, you look at this open larva, you follow the pattern, and is there a progression of ages, and is the comb full? Because the hygienic queens, the hygienic bees that are expressing this are going to express their hygienics in mainly the capped brood area. And that's what's going to look like a funny pattern. But if you look at just the open brood, you won't see that. And you won't have the so-called shotgun look. and you'll be able to say, yes, she's laying progressively, she's filling the frame. It's a nice pattern. So take into consideration the hygienic queens. So you may not even realize that you have a hygienic queen. And you have to realize that not everything is the old way of just evaluating queens on capped brood. Now you have a frame of eggs. And what if the eggs are from a worker? That's the dreaded laying worker syndrome. Well, as I touched on in the previous module, newly mated queens can make multiple egg drops into cells. So let's start with the laying worker. A laying worker is only a laying worker because the queen has no longer been in the hive. It is the queen's pheromones that prevent a worker from developing her ovaries. Her ovaries don't develop because of the pheromone. Once that pheromone is gone from the hive, a laying worker can develop. These workers are not fertilized, and only drones can be produced. So even if they are laying into the smaller cells, the worker cells, only drones will be produced. So if you have no queen and you have no pheromone, you have the chance of a laying worker developing. Now, when a laying worker drops eggs into a cell, one, her abdomen is not long enough to get into the bottom of the cell and drop it right in the middle. Her eggs are generally dropped to the sides of the cell. A lot of times they'll be hanging on the walls. It's very messy pattern looking. They drop these in there. Sometimes the other workers know that they're just going to be drones, and they start eating them back. And it's just the laying worker does it becomes a lost hive, because it's if it goes on long enough, it's all drones, and that does not make a hive. All drones do not make a hive. But this is something that if you see it early enough by examining your comb on an inspection schedule, you'll be able to find it and fix it while you still have a decent population. And laying worker is fixable. In these examples, you'll see the laying worker, which is the first photo, and those are very messy. They're everywhere. They're on the sides, but all of those will become drones. There won't be one worker produced by a laying worker. In the middle is normal. This is a worker egg in a worker cell by a mated queen. It is not a laying worker. And on the right is just a picture of drones. Now, the third instance of a quality check on what's happening is an old queen who is devoid of sperm can lay only drones, and she is called a drone layer. So whether she was not mated properly or not mated at all, I've seen very strange instances of drone layers. I've had very old queens turn into drone layers, and I've had newly mated queens turn into drone layers. But I know the newly mated queen was just not mated well enough. She might have gone out once, and I don't know who she met, but she didn't meet the right one. Old queens, they have laid in your hive, they've done their bit, but they finally run out of sperm and they become only drones. And again, a hive full of drones is not a healthy hive. A newly mated queen. A newly mated queen can also lay multiple eggs, but these eggs, again, are basically at the bottom of the cell, and they develop into workers. And if it's in a drone cell, then she'll lay a drone egg, an unfertilized egg. If she is laying multiple eggs, she is a newly mated queen, but it will begin to stop, because generally I think what I've seen in my apiaries is when they are in a nuke and the population is small, but she's ready to lay her 2,000 eggs a day. It's just that the worker population can't keep up. And so she stays on these cells and lays multiple eggs in them. The photo to the right is a very interesting photo because I had a queen that wanted to lay so badly, definitely mated, new queen, and she decided to lay into the pollen cell. That's a rare sight. It did not develop in the pollen cell. The workers went ahead and ate that cell down or ate that egg down, as they will. But newly mated queens can lay multiple eggs, and that's why we're just covering these topics, because if you have the knowledge in your head at the time, you don't get worried. You can say, let's look at this with some reason now. So here is another bigger picture, and you can see the multiple eggs that are dropped are all the way down, basically in the middle of those cells, and they're just right next to single cell drops. It's a funny sight, but it's something that if you deal around virgins or have a swarm and the virgin did come back to the hive, you may see this, and it's knowledge is power. Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and winds long to play with your hair. Part of being a beekeeper is delighting in nature, and it's part of what I come out to do. So examining your combs will help evaluate your queen. You want healthy white larvae. You want a nice bred queen. Can you tell by looking at her that she's bred? Yes, that she's bred, but how good? You're going to start looking at your patterns. And your patterns will be the open larva versus the capped larva. So the summary of our queen quality. 1 is our pattern. Look at our patterns. You want to examine the open brood for pattern. You want to be aware of that there can be laying workers if you have believed that your hive was queenless at any point. And you also want to be aware that newly mated queens can also look similar or become similar in just the egg drops. But the differences are the newly mated queen will drop her eggs in the centers of the cell, whereas the laying worker is much messier about it. Queen quality, super important.